All right.
Wait, I'm going to take a picture of that. Oh my God, it looks really weird with the blinding lights. Okay.
I love it. I'm really hot right now. I'm so hot. All right. I'm going to try really hard not to look at my paper, but it's just going to happen.
You have to a little bit.
Okay, let me push this back. Okay.
Don't fuck up.
Don't fuck up.
Have you watched the holiday episode I sent you yet?
No.
Okay.
I was in the middle.
No worries. It's just a question.
Oh, what do you cover in
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Do you talk about me?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Don't worry about it. Welcome to my podcast, All Up in Your Business, where I am your host, Kaylee Bain, coming at you weekly on Wednesdays. And man, I just gotta say, this is not a normal intro. This is gonna be the only time I'm doing this, but I am so excited to have you here for this ride. This is gonna be so exciting. I'm gonna say so exciting so many times, but this is a passion project of mine that I've had for 2 years, and it's been in the works for 6 months now, and it's finally coming to life, and I have no words about how excited I am. So this is the first episode, as you know, if you're listening and watching this. This is not going to be the normal intro. It's going to look much different from the rest of the film, video, whatever it is that you're watching. And I couldn't deal with the original intro, and I've grown a lot since this first one. But enjoy it. I'm going to be coming at you weekly with local business owners, small businesses, thought leaders, nonprofits, podcasters, and bloggers of this area in Raleigh, Durham, and beyond. So if you know of anyone that would be really good, who has a cool story, who's learned maybe some hard lessons, and has some good advice for people to join and start a business, hell yeah, send them my way. Otherwise, I'm going to stop yapping. I'm going to let you enjoy the first episode, and I'm going to be screaming to myself in the background about just how excited I am. Okay? Today, I am here with Erica Rooney, founder of Her Collective, but I know you do a lot more, so tell me about it.
Oh, my Lord. Girl, I do so much. And I know you know this, but I always tell people I wear a lot of hats, but they all ladder up to one mission, which is to get more women into positions of power and keep them there. So I'm an author, a speaker. I wrote a book called Glass Ceilings and Sticky Floors, Shatter Limiting Beliefs to Uncover Infinite Possibilities. I always mess that up sometimes. But I put that book out. That came out in November of last year. Mm-hmm. And so we're right at that 1 year anniversary. And what's crazy is when I started writing that book, which was, I don't know, 2019-ish, 2020-ish. Okay, so right when COVID hit, like, we need it now more than we did back then. So author, speaker, executive coach, but Her Collective is an online digital community for women who are looking to grow their careers, climb the corporate ladder, but do so without losing their shit.
Right.
And so we just have a great time in there. We do a lot of group coaching, monthly master classes, and I do a lot of AI education, which was a very interesting add to my revenue stream of life, because I never considered myself techie, but here I am. I'm the fractional chief people officer at Walk West, and one of my big, to-dos is AI implementation and AI adoption, and leading the charge not just internally, but also externally as well.
Mm-hmm. So fun fact for everyone who doesn't know, I actually know Erica pretty well. I love everything she does. I've been to Boston with her when she was meeting with...
Yes, MIT AI-powered Women's Conference, which actually I should say I'm the host on 3 podcasts, right?
Yes.
The Glass Ceilings and Sticky Floor podcast, which you produce for me, and then the AI Voice or Victim podcast, which you also have a big hand in, and then the Chamber, Greater Raleigh Chamber podcast, which is brand new. It launched yesterday, and that is called In Good Company. So all 3 it's a lot, but it's all good stuff.
It's a lot. And you do a crap ton. Like, you do so much. I'm just like, God, what am I not doing? And then I'm like, just kidding. Erica's like a freaking machine. So, like.
I do think I get a lot more done than other people. But, like, I also don't think that's always a good thing. I have a very hard time slowing down and resting. So I'm trying to lean into a little bit more of that, like, I don't know. I think the next iteration of me is a bit more like of a grounded hustle, like a little bit less frantic, more grounded.
Yeah. No, and I've been seeing, because again, I know you as like the badass, like who's like just goes and does it. I'm like, okay, Erica, like you're freaking amazing. And then I think I finally saw you crack.
Oh, no.
And
what
it was
she is talking about, I feel like this is an unfair story here.
It made me feel so good because you are normal.
her wheelhouse and her area of expertise. But let me just tell you the story. So she told me I had to do a TikTok or something, or a reel, right, as the kids say these days. And so I'm like, okay, I don't want to, but I'm going to knock it out. Because, like, if somebody gives me a task, I will push myself out of my comfort zone and get it done. Mm-hmm. And it took everything I had in me to get that TikTok done. And I get that stupid TikTok done, and then I'm like, okay, so I just put captions on, and then, like, we're good to go. She's like, yeah, captions and a little bit of music. Can't figure out where the goddamn captions go. They're on there, but they're nowhere to be seen. She's like, well, now you're editing it in the wrong place. And, like, it was like a straw on the camel's back, a straw on the camel's back, another straw on the camel's back, until finally I was like, you know what? I'm done. This is over. Do with it what you will. I'm letting go and letting God. And thankfully we had Kaylee to take it across the finish line, because it was going to die in the drafts folder.
Oh my God. I was dying because one, I could tell you were just having a day, and I was like, oh, it's okay. Like, just give it to me. I'll do it.
Like, the hell is going on with this Instagram stuff? Like, I kind of straddle that boomer millennial era, I feel like.
You do very well with it, though.
And it was just a bad moment for me.
But it was great. And I was just like, she does have normal moments. And I know you hated it. I loved it for you.
I know you loved it for you. And then guess what? I made a banging TikTok today by myself without Kaylee. So
I know. You always
pat myself on the back.
Every day you do, though. So it's fine. So tell me a little bit, like, what is your why? Like, what drives you? Like, what made you start this? What's the story? Like, tell me.
Well, I always tell people I never thought I would start a business. I grew up with a father who owned a paint manufacturing company business that was handed down to him by ways of his dad, my grandfather. And he was never supposed to have that business. It was supposed to go to the firstborn son. That's a very, like, Southern tradition. Like, the oldest child takes it over. And, I mean, we grew up in small town Florida. And his older brother tragically died in a car accident, which then elevated my father up into this business owning position that he never wanted. Mm-hmm. But he took it because he felt obligated to do it, right? We all have our own, in my world, sticky floors, as I call them. And so I grew up watching my dad, a business owner, hate his life, hate what he was doing, and come home and complain and be like, never run a business because you never get a raise. You always have to give somebody else a raise. It's never for you. So I was like, I'm never doing that. So I set my sight on corporate, which was like climb the corporate ladder, one rung. And I kept pivoting and scaled the corporate ladder. And I was in health and fitness for like 8 years. And when I hit that first glass ceiling, I pivoted into HR, and very quickly, within like 6 years, went from being an individual contributor to a C-suite leading $125 million mergers and acquisitions. And when I got to that position, you know, I thought I'd be super happy, right? I was making a lot of money. I had a great remote job. I had kids. I mean, what budget? I didn't have to worry about a budget. I was making good money. But I was so miserable. And I was like, this is all bullshit, especially being a woman in a male-dominated industry, especially being a woman in a C-suite position, and especially being a young woman in a C-suite position. I was in my early 30s. And so I kept looking around being like, is this all there is? Like, this is some bullshit. But it's good money. So I started writing the book, not really knowing like what was going to happen with the book. And I just knew I needed more because I knew that this couldn't be my be-all, end-all. And we get to this point in my career where I have this amazing book that is all about women smashing ceilings. And I found myself in a situation that no longer matched with my core values. And I just had this gut-wrenching pull that if I stayed where I was, all of the hard work, all of the money, all of the time that I had poured into this book that was endorsed by Mel Robbins. So I was like, okay, would be a lie. Like, I thought it would all be a lie. And I was like, I could not live with myself. And so I decided to walk away from corporate and start my own thing. And I didn't really know what that was going to look like. Her Collective was not even a blip on the radar at that point. I just thought I would do coaching and speaking. And I liked that idea, but the scalability isn't there. And so I was like, what can I do where I'm not trading my time for my money? Because I've got these 2 small kids. They're 10 and 7. This is like prime time to be all up in their business. And that's where the idea for Her Collective came around. And I was like, I love this. Like, I can still help women climb the corporate ladder. But, you know, if I get 10 people that join this month, or if I get 50 people that join this month, there's no extra burden on content creation and what I'm doing coaching wise and how I'm engaging with the people. And so I was like, I love this idea. And I'm a big fan of do the thing that cannot be undone. I know you've heard me say that. And so I immediately went out and I spent $3,000 on a platform. Did not have a single paying customer, but I was like, I'm going to spend $3,000 on this platform because it's a good deal.
It's a good deal.
It's a good deal, and I'm going to make it work. And so I knew I had $3,000 I had to make up. But I also knew I wanted to make more than $3,000 because that would just cover the cost of the platform. And then I had to coach people for a whole year. Because Her Collective is an annual membership.
Oh, that's right. It's a whole year.
Yeah,
right.
It's an annual membership. So I was like, I got to make this work. And then, you know, it just started happening little by little. Pieces fell together. I started working with Walk West and met you, and you took over my podcast. And then, you know, things just happen. So it's like, I don't know where, like, that's kind of how we got here.
Yeah. Well, remind me, when did you start the podcast?
So I did start the podcast before the book, actually, and I did that in corporate, and it probably would have been like 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, 2020.
So you started that when you
maybe
were
2021.
Starting the book or before the book
Nope,
was even
I did
a thought?
it first. I was like,
Right,
I just
right,
want
right.
to do a podcast. I think it will be fun. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. And as I started the podcast, I started noticing that there were all of these themes of issues that women were having: imposter syndrome, perfectionism, fear, and burnout. And then I took all of those podcasts and I created them into chapters of the book.
Oh,
and then,
okay.
so from all of those, like, there's a chapter on perfectionism. It's because I had 50,000 podcasts about women saying I struggle with perfectionism. So it was like my own form of research for the book.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
so,
then I just keep it going.
Yeah. And you used, I know you use the podcast for a lot. So you used that to kind of like start your book.
That was the very first thing I ever did.
That's awesome.
I didn't use it for any intense purpose in mind. I just know I wanted to do it.
And for those of you who don't know Erica, she is all over the freaking place. Like she does speaking engagements everywhere. She's in New York City all the time. She's part of Chief. She's part of every women empowerment thing you can think of. She's a part of it.
I try to be.
And she's everywhere, but like it's just like a really good reminder. Like you just put yourself into everything and then you kind of find.
Well, and I'm a big fan of just listening to what the universe is trying to tell you or whatever you believe in, right? Like, but pay attention and don't be nervous about it. So, like, for example, when this whole AI opportunity landed in my lap, like, I had been using AI and learning AI for my own personal benefit. I never thought that it would be something that I would do as part of my business portfolio and my business venture. But I'm writing my next book now, which is called The AI Gap: Women, AI, and the Next Great Leap Forward. And it's all about empowering women to use AI to close all of those gaps that we know exist: the leadership gap, the pay gap, the representation gap, blah, blah, blah. So it's like that landed in my lap and I could have said no. I never would have met you. I'd still be editing my own podcast by myself, right? Like I would be in a completely different place right now, and my business would be in a completely different place right now. But I listened to my intuition, which was like, do the thing. And I stepped way outside of my comfort zone, and I was just like, I'm going to learn it. I'm going to figure it out, and we're going to get it done.
I love that. Oh, I love that. So kind of going off of that, what do you think would be either a misconception that you thought of or a lesson maybe you learned along the way? Like, I know you probably learned a lot of lessons.
I was like, I've got misconceptions, misunderstandings, like, you know, everybody says only a normal person or an insane person would quit a 40-hour job a week to work 80 hours a week for themselves.
Yes.
Right? And I think the one thing that I didn't truly understand until I started my own business was like, I was so used to HR being my lane. And like, I just got to worry about HR. And then it became to now I'm marketing, now I'm sales, now I'm delivery, now I'm, making all these decisions by myself and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And so
it's such a scary feeling.
It is. And I'm like, I don't know who to talk to about this because, of course, my business is so unique. It's so different from everybody else's. And it was just, I didn't realize that kind of pressure would come. And it was interesting for me because I've never been in a sales role in my life. I've always been in a support role.
Right.
And as a founder, you are always in a sales role. And so that was a big misunderstanding or misconception on my part of how much my, creating a company would be sales.
And you're also like really good at sales.
Well, I love that you say that about me.
I think you could sell a pen or what's the saying? You could sell ice to an
Eskimo.
That's it. Yeah.
Hey, look, my daughter can sell candy the day after Halloween. If she can do that, then true. I can sell ice to an Eskimo.
But also, like, her daughter, like, she is teaching her daughter really, really cool things. Like, her daughter and her have marketing meetings. We have
a business.
Yeah, they have investor meetings.
She has a business. I'm the investor, right? But it's all about teaching that next generation and starting them young.
Yes.
And I think part of it is because of the trauma, I use loosely, of growing up with an entrepreneur dad that didn't want to do it. Now I'm like, let me teach my daughter that she can do all these things.
Yeah.
And expose her to all the different areas. Like, you're not just making necklaces, Sally. You got to think about all these things.
Yeah, and I kind of grew up, so my parents always worked. They were struggling. We grew up poor. But, I was all right with it. Like, I lived off of, what was that, like, hamburger casserole.
You know what you know.
Yeah, and I loved my life. It was great. And then my dad bought a trucking business. The truck broke. Like, every week this truck broke. So we were going more and more and more in debt. And all of a sudden, like, hey, might have to go bankrupt. Hey, you can't afford to have food at school. So, like, here's, like, some stuff. And, like, had to make it work. And then came, like, my parents almost got divorced and, like, that. It was a whole crazy time. But after seeing that with my dad, I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to own a business. So then I didn't for a long time. And then owning a gym kind of came into my lap. I managed it, and then I owned it, and then everything with that happened. And then I was like, all right, I'm never, ever owning a business ever again. Like, screw that. I don't want nothing to do with it. And then I had Honey Gin Marketing. So then I went back into owning business. So I've gone back and forth, but I understand, like, the scariness of, like, watching your father especially, like, do it. It's like, it's so scary, but I'm like, you're crushing it.
Well, and I think another misconception too is that, like, or I guess just something that I thought would be different is I didn't realize how much I would always have to be thinking about the future.
Yeah, that's so
because
wild.
you always have to think about what's going on in my pipeline, even in your most busiest of moments. You have to be thinking about what's going on in the pipeline because the second your busy season ends, then what?
Exactly.
And back to when I was in corporate, I only worried about the people. I was only in HR, so business always came. It just wasn't something I had to worry about. So it's an interesting, I don't know, mind map, having to understand that you need to worry about the pipeline, still stay present and focused and grounded, and not let anxiety ruin your life.
Yes. Did there ever get to be a time, like, because you said, like, business always came to you?
Yeah.
Because I experienced kind of something similar, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not having to go to anybody. Like, this is great. Yeah. Like, did you ever hit a time where you just kind of stopped, and then you had to start, like, going and doing your marketing and, like, approaching people at all, or?
Yeah, I think so. But, like, I don't know. I think this is probably another sticky floor of mine where I always live in the fear that I have to do something like that. And if I'm not so busy, then it's like, oh my God, I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably a very common fear for a lot of business owners. And it's one we probably don't want to talk about because everybody else is looking at us saying, but you're doing the most.
Exactly. People are like, but wait.
But it's not enough. And I mean, there absolutely have been times, like even right now, like I just came off of a very crazy busy season where it was like I did not have a minute to breathe. And now I do. And this is where I'm working on my mindset is like, it's okay to sit in the quiet a bit. It's okay to have a week off, and not have a lot going on and then pick back up into things. But yeah, I mean, it's constant putting feelers out there, making connections, getting out there in the network. And I think if you can just keep that as some sort of a regular cadence, then you don't quite hit those dry spells.
Yeah, the whole telling yourself, like, it's okay to have a quiet moment.
That's so hard for me.
It is so, like, Eric and I are very similar in this kind of way. Like, we're used to always being busy, but, like, this is where I lean on her a lot. I'm like, am I crazy? Like, is this normal? She's like, girl, calm down, you're fine. And I'm like,
Take
you're
a
right.
beat. Always take a beat.
Yeah, it's so hard to like take the beat. But going off of that, what are some fun stories in your career that you have now that like will always like stick with you? Like what's like some
Oh my gosh. I mean, one of my favorite stories to tell was right after I quit corporate, like my last day, and I sat down in my home office at my desk on a Monday, and I was like, I wonder what today is going to be like. Like, what's my first week of entrepreneurship going to look like? And it wasn't so much excitement as it was fear. And I was like, oh shit, right? Like, I've got to come up with something. And my phone rang, and it was off of a connection that I had been nurturing for a long time. And she said, Erica, I know this is so last minute, but would you be able to fly up to New York on Wednesday? We need you to interview Sally Krawcheck. And if you don't know who that is, she was like, she was the CEO and founder of an investment company called Elvis, which was all for women, all about investing. I mean, she's an incredible woman, well-known in the financial industry. They said, we need you to interview her, and Tyra Banks is going on right after you. So you'll be able to meet her and give her your book and get a photo if you want. And so I was like, holy shit, hell yes, the universe is here for me. Let's go. And I love it because that's just the world of business and entrepreneurship. Like, you have no idea what's going to land in your lap and what that's going to look like, but you got to be ready to go. Mm-hmm. But that was one of my most favorite things because it also did really feel like a big sign from the universe that, like, Erica, you may have nothing else in the pipeline right now because you just started, but, like, look at this. Look at you go, girl.
I love that. That's so. What was it like meeting Tyra Banks?
I mean, she's super sweet. She's super nice, and I still actually not text her boyfriend, but like her boyfriend and I are LinkedIn buddies now, and so like I'll send him a message because they live in Australia. They have an ice cream company now, but she's super relatable, down to earth, very tall, and I'm a tall woman. Yeah, but
you're tall.
She was very tall, but yeah, just very chill.
I love that. I did not know you met Tyra Banks.
Oh, so cool. I got a picture, girl.
You missed that whole part of telling me about your stuff.
That is so much funny about me.
That's so funny. So then, just to kind of like wrap up, what's advice you'd give someone wanting to go down the same path?
Okay, so this is big. It's just find somebody who has done what you want to do, because they already know everything.
Like a mentor.
Yeah, well, you don't even have to have a mentor. Like when I first got into the speaking world, I joined a speaking community and I learned all about the speaking business, and I had no idea about the speaking business. I did not know about reels. I didn't know about speaker websites. I didn't know about speaker bureaus. I didn't know that you could charge $40,000 for someone to come see you talk for an hour.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm not at that level yet, but I will be one day.
You will be.
But so it just opened my eyes to what was actually possible, right? Also, I didn't know what it took to write a book, right? And just the fact of not knowing stops me, right? Like, if I don't know how to do that thing, I'm not going to do it, because if you're going to write a book, like, that has to be super hard, right? Mm-hmm. And so I just make that assumption. So go find the people who've done what you want to do and talk to them about it. When I went to start my podcast, like, I put it off for so long. And then finally I was guesting on some other person's culture podcast. And I ended up reaching out to them later, and I just said, look, I'm thinking about starting a podcast, but can you just tell me all the things that it took to start? And he was like, oh yeah. And he gave me the rundown. Here's the mic I use. Here's this, here's that. Use Buzzsprout, this, that. And I was like, okay, check, done. And he made it really very easy for me to start, because he removed that barrier. And then that got me into podcasting. And then that got me to the next level. And everything is just a little bit further. So, like, you don't even have to have a mentor, but just grabbing some time on somebody's calendar. I had a woman reach out to me the other day. She wanted to talk about how could she get out there and be a speaker more in the Raleigh-Durham area. And I was like, honestly, one of the places I started was the local nonprofits, right? Like, that fit what you're talking about. So for me, I did events with Junior League of Raleigh. I did events with Dress for Success. Like, I was getting out there as much as possible in front of those people, because then all of the people who were audience members in those rooms that I was doing for free, I've been hired from every single one of those rooms. So cool. While I did that event for free, I have been making some multiple six-figure deals on the other side of those. And so, just call somebody, ask them, where did you start? How did you do it? Get one tiny piece of advice to take you to the next step, and then let that person carry you forward.
I love that. I would have never thought, yes, but, and, like.
Yes, and, right? Like, they could have called any other speaker in the area and gotten a completely different answer, right?
Yeah.
That's something that worked for me. But, hey,
why
not
love
you,
that.
you know?
Oh, absolutely. I love that. So then going to the other side, if someone wants to work with you, what's a piece of advice you'd give someone that's trying to take the next steps to work with you, or they don't know what they want to do, but they should be working with you, or if they want you?
Well, seeing as I wear so many hats, it
I know, you do a little bit of
it
everything.
depends on in what capacity do you want to work with me, right? That's what I tell them. Like, I'm a little bit of everything, okay?
Yeah.
But if you're a woman out there and you want to find community and you want to, be a part of just a network that really supports each other and wants to grow and learn and climb the corporate ladder, you join her collective, right? You get immediate access to me. There's even a digital twin I created in there named Cheryl. It's an AI bot. It's Erica on steroids. It never gets tired, but you get access to me 24/7. Right? If you're like, holy shit, Erica's amazing, I need to hear in my company, then you hit me up on my website, you reach out to me on LinkedIn and say you have a speaking opportunity, right? If you just want to get me on the phone because you have a quick question, you're like, dang, you're the coolest person I've heard all day, like, I want to ask you this question, hit me up on LinkedIn. Like, I love being super accessible. But there's a million different things that I do, and it all, again, aims to elevate the position of women and get them into those positions of power and also keep them there. So a lot of work with culture and organizations, if they want someone to come in and say, like, hey, from a gender equality standpoint, like, how are we doing? I'm here to make it better for you. So lots of ways you can work with me. I guarantee you there's some way you can work with me.
Yes, there is a way at all times. Well, how can people find you? Like, obviously, LinkedIn, I know, is your number one place.
LinkedIn is my other permanent address.
Yep.
Otherwise, you can hit me up at ericaandersonrooney.com or joinhercollective.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. You have been the best guest. Also, this is the first episode. So
I was going to say, not too hard to be the best guest when you're the first guest.
Right? She's the best first guest, and she did amazing at really coaching me through this. So thank you,
Hey,
Erica.
look at my skills in action, y'all.
Look at it. It works. She works. She's great.
I do work a lot.
Definitely. Yes, you do. So definitely follow her. In the show notes, there will be the resource links to her website. I'll attach her LinkedIn also. But thanks for tuning in to All Up in Your Business with Erica Rooney and myself, Kaylee Bain. If you like what you hear, check out her socials, like I said, but also subscribe to this episode so you can stay in touch with all the other local entrepreneurs, thought leaders, nonprofits, all the things. So make sure you tune in for the next episode.